What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about what I think is potentially going to be coming with Fallout 76 Wastelanders, potentially in the future, in the next couple weeks to the next couple months, all of that type of stuff. These are my predictions. This is just really are we going to be getting more Fallout 76 Wastelanders content, really, and all of that type of stuff? And the answer of will we be getting more Fallout 76 Wastelanders content, I think is kind of a yes and a no. The reason why I mean by that is yes, we'll definitely be getting more content. I just don't necessarily know if that's going to be a part of the Fallout 76 Wastelanders DLC, or it will be its own separate DLC. For example, one thing that looks to be coming into Fallout 76, which a lot of people have already talked about, is dogs. Now, for those of you who don't know, there are a lot of dogs in Fallout 4 actually being in the Creation Club. They did put a bunch of dogs out there, a bunch of different textures, and they were like 200 creations each, I think, and they added a bunch of obviously, a bunch of different type of dogs. 200 creations each. They could pretty much, they couldn't go with you. You'd actually have to get this thing called the Transdogrifier, which you'd put on dog meat, and you could change dog meat's breed. But the other dogs would pretty much stay at your settlement, and it'd kind of give you like 5 extra armor, or not armor, whatever it's called, defense or something like that, to your settlement. But the reason a lot of people have been saying that, dogs are potentially going to be coming to Fallout 76 is not just because it looks like it's almost a guarantee at this point, but also Bethesda already have the skins and assets to already put this in the game. I mean, it literally wouldn't take like Bethesda really any time to kind of convert those dogs from the Fallout 4 Creation Club into Fallout 76. The only problems are, currently in the game, you actually can't have companions that roam around with you through Appalachia. That's another thing that I do expect to be added very soon. I just don't know if it's going to be coming out in the next couple months or so, or what's going to be happening, but I do expect that they would potentially make dogs the companions, but if not, they will most likely make dogs a part of the camp, so where you can have them at your camp, but they'll just protect it and give you more defense, slash protection. And again, that would be very unfortunate. I think a lot of people would way rather than potentially add them as companions and all of that type of stuff. Now, another thing they might just potentially be adding is not just dogs, but other animals as well. We could potentially see cats, start to get thrown into potentially Fallout 76. It could be other animals here and there as well, and they could really incorporate this with, I forgot what they were called, but they were like the things in Fallout 4 where you could like trap animals and all of that, the animals and the beasts across Fallout 4 and all of that type of stuff. So again, that would be a pretty interesting thing. I honestly don't know what it was called, but it was added a part of like one of the DLCs for Fallout 4. Again, it's actually annoying me that I can't remember that, but it was a part of one of the DLCs, and that brings me to the next thing. I do expect them to potentially add companions very soon. I think it'd be very annoying if we would have to wait like a whole entire year or something just to get companions. I feel like if they were going to add dogs into the game, they definitely would have to add companions here and there. I just think it would make literally no sense if you could have dogs in the game, but you couldn't have any of them as companions. I think that would be extremely unfortunate as well. But obviously that doesn't just lead into dogs and other animals that you may potentially have. I think some of the settlers that you can actually put at your camp now, some of the companions that don't roam around the wasteland / Appalachia with you, that do go to your settlement and you have to do quests for them. I think it would be pretty awesome to start seeing them kind of go out with you as companions, although it would make it extremely difficult because, if people have the same companion, it would just be really weird to, go around the wasteland / Appalachia and then you just randomly see someone with the exact same companion as you. It would be very, very strange, and I'm not exactly too sure if I would like that too much. So I guess what they could potentially do is keep those companions at the camp, but allow dogs to go out with you. I think that would be obviously extremely awesome. Another companion thing that I think they could potentially add is actually the Robot Workbench. For those of you who didn't know, it was actually part of the, I think it was Automatron, I think that's what the DLC was called in Fallout 4. It was this Robot Workbench, where you could make robots and you could make them stay at your camp, or you could take them as your own companions. I think that would be extremely awesome as well, because, you know, if someone has the exact same robot companion as you, it's a robot, you know, that happens. But with it was, you know, if it was a human, yeah, that's not that's not exactly the most likely thing to happen. So yeah, again, I think having potential robots and dogs as companions that roam around Appalachia with you, I think that would be very awesome. But obviously it would come with the issue of maybe some robots would be too big to kind of go through the doors. I don't know, they kind of worked out that resolution with Fallout 4. Again, they could try and do that with Fallout 76. But again, I'm not exactly too sure. Obviously, some other stuff that I do believe they will be adding is weapons and armors. I've got no idea when and what these weapons and armors will look like. I believe they had a I think it was like a machine gun or something that was actually in the files that they didn't decide to add for some reason like that. Another thing that a lot of people have been bringing up already is the daily quest with the factions. For those of you who don't know, there's actually 2 daily quests, I do believe, for the raiders, but there's only 1 daily quest for the settlers. I do expect a extra and additional daily quest to be potentially added for the settlers. I think that would be extremely weird if it wasn't. It looked like it was already intended to be in the game, so yeah, again, that would be extremely odd if that wasn't in the game. Also, just other stuff as well, as I do expect to see potentially more NPCs around the map. I do believe Bethesda will potentially introduce, you know, more NPCs and settlers just roaming around the map. I think it was just, you know, they're bringing it in slightly, like you got all these new settlers roaming around the map, but then as maybe the months go on, maybe more and more come here and there, and maybe more and more will be around just random places like little houses or abandoned houses around Appalachia. I think that obviously makes quite a bit of sense. Well, one of the first things that we've actually got confirmed, which looks like it will be coming back, is the Fastnacht Parade. For those of you who don't know what the Fastnacht Parade was, it was pretty much a parade that was added into the game last year, and yeah, it was like this event. It went on for a little bit, and then they ended up getting rid of it. I believe you actually, I can't even remember what you did. You like you went with these robots, and you had to try and defend the robots as they go through a parade or something like that against wild beasts and all those type of things. Obviously, we know that's going to be coming back. I don't know if they're going to be exactly changing it or if it's going to be the exact same as it was last year. But I think it would be pretty cool for them to maybe potentially add settlers or something. Maybe they can maybe help with the robots. Who knows? They could exactly do so much stuff with the Fastnacht Parade. Now, another thing that I extremely hope they do add, and I would assume it would be coming, I don't believe this is in the game. I haven't heard anyone talk about it, and to be honest, I actually haven't checked this, but I'm just like 99% sure it isn't in the game at this point. But that is actually human NPCs around Nuclear Winter. So Nuclear Winter hasn't been updated in a little bit. I believe since we got that new map, which was literally like, I think maybe September last year or something like that was when we last got it. So they haven't updated it in quite a bit, and I reckon about, you know, a certain amount of people who actually just got Fallout 76 will have been trying the Nuclear Winter, and I believe maybe the count for that has even gone up as well. And it is still a pretty popular game mode, but again, it hasn't been updated in quite a while. I think it'd literally be like a crime for Bethesda not to update that and potentially add human NPCs around the map. This could obviously be raiders, some of the new factions that they potentially add, like the Cult of Mothman, a couple other factions here and there, you know, the ones that are usually hostile, I think they could potentially add as well. That's what I could potentially see them doing with, obviously, the Fallout 76 Nuclear Winter, but also just adding other, you know, new characters and stuff to it as well. We could potentially see some friendly NPCs, which maybe even could trade with you or do something like that. I'm not exactly too sure if that would be a great thing to add into Nuclear Winter, but again, it's just an idea. A couple other things could be that new Colossus Wendigo that was recently added into the game. We could potentially see that in Nuclear Winter. I don't actually believe the Scorch-based Queen is in it, but obviously it would be cool if maybe they added that when that Colossus Wendigo. But yeah, that would be an extremely scary enemy to potentially verse. But yeah, these are pretty much the things that I do expect to get updated. I do expect to see companions here and there, whether they're dogs or maybe Robot Workbench and all that type of stuff, and potential companions that will go around Appalachia with you. I do expect to see a massive update to Nuclear Winter where we will potentially get human NPCs. Obviously, the Fire Sniper Parade is coming back, and I do expect them to potentially maybe even make a couple changes at that. Obviously, it looks like we are getting some new weapons and armors here and there, whether that's in the Atomic Shop or just being added into the game. But again, we haven't got exactly too much looks at that, but it would be really cool to see what that could potentially be. But yeah, obviously those are some of the things that I think will be getting updated into Fallout 76's Wastelanders, or just after it. But again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions on this all down below. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys think some other stuff will be added? Do you guys think none of this stuff will be added? Again, I definitely would really like to know. Also, I will be making a video talking about what's next potentially after Wastelanders, of maybe some, you know, things that could happen, like a Wastelanders Part 2 or another story quest to Fallout 76. Again, I've got a lot of predictions on what could potentially be coming, so definitely stay tuned for that if you haven't already, so definitely subscribe. Also, as I was saying, make sure to leave a like and comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on all of this stuff? And maybe even give me some suggestions for the next video on what do you guys think will potentially be coming after Fallout 76 Wastelanders. I definitely would really like to hear your thoughts and opinions on it all down below. So as I was saying, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.